Hey folks, Malforian here, and yes, you see it correctly, we are here at the Crusader Kings subreddit for a specific post that was posted yesterday that I thought was really interesting, and there's no dev diaries or anything at the moment, so I thought we'd just read through it and have a little bit of a discussion about what's discussed here, and just see what you think about the suggestions and improvements that the poster here talks about. I'll leave a link to it in the description down below so you can go join in the conversation, but basically, Bite It You Scum here, a nice name, basically did a post. He just finished an Iron Man achievement, playing through the whole game. If you don't know how to do that, I actually did a recent video on the channel about the Iron Man achievement for finishing End of an Era. Little video about how to get that achievement. It is really, really difficult, as the guy here explains. So it's a nice little video telling you how you can get to the end of the game without too much issue. As the post here says, there's a lot of little stuff in the game that it makes it pretty annoying to play the game, especially later on. Especially if you play the higher speeds. I will say if you play speed 4 or speed 5, this is mentioned later on, there are some super annoying UI things that do affect your ease of play, basically, just due to how they operate. But anyway, we're going to go through what it says here, and then we'll have a little discussion down below, as we always do. And let me know what you think. Are all these suggestions ones you'd want in the game? Is there any reason why you wouldn't want them? Or are there any other improvements or changes to the game that you'd want to see? We are going into 2023, and hopefully we'll see some upgrades and updates to the game pretty early on. But like I say, I thought this post was interesting, so we're just going to get to it. So anyway, the first bit is family and dynasty management. So saying take the mod Night Manager and just add every single feature to the base game. This is very true. It is really, really annoying that your heirs, if they're eligible to be knights, just automatically become knights and fight in battles. I don't understand why that is. I think there should at least be an event, maybe, that when your child comes of age, he was maybe dressing up in his armor and he's like, hey, hi father, I'm gonna go fight in this war. And you're like, no, you're not. You have 2 prowess. Get away from my army. That's lunacy. So it is crazy that it is by default yes. I always forget, and then you have an heir die and you look like, oh, he was in that fight, why? He was one of your knights. Why? So you can forbid them if you don't know this. You can go into the knight section of the game and just you can forbid certain people from being knights. So you can turn this off, but as he says, by default it's yes. I don't know why. Child of my Dynasty notifications need filtering control. I'm not going to read all of this for each post, each point. Basically, I agree with this. Once you get large enough, it's just super annoying that you get spammed with Dynasty notifications. You've had, like he says here, 28 grandkids. I don't care at that point. I really don't care. I don't care when I have 1 grandkid. I really don't care when I've got 30 and you've got a huge dynasty and it's just getting out of control. Putting the inheritable traits that the child can get on the Child of My Dynasty event screen would save 2 or 3 clicks to figure out if they're worth pinning for later attention or not if you're playing the genetics game, which really adds up over time. I mean, it makes fair. I don't play the genetics game as much as most people do. I know, if you ever go on the Crusader Kings Reddit, it's basically all they talk about most of the time. So I guess if you do play the genetics game a lot, I do it, but kind of semi-professionally, I guess. I just kind of try to do it, but I don't put a lot of effort into it. I just can't be bothered. I really should, because it makes a massive difference later on, but that is true. It should really tell you at that point. When educating heirs, why not have the list default to showing people with the same education focus first? Yes, please. It is crazy this isn't true. So if you have a martial character, why does it default to a random stat in the sort list and not martial? I can't remember off the top of my head the actual maths behind the formula behind it. I believe, if I remember correctly, someone can correct me in the comments. I know learning, if you have a genius character, they are generally always better than somebody who has high martial if you're trying to teach martial. But I forget what the formula is. I think it's something 2 to 1. A main stat that matches is always twice as good as learning, unless they're a genius character, and then I think it amends the formula. It's not that, so don't quote me on this, guys. I know there is some kind of formula around when it's better to have different ones, but I generally always match what it is. So if I'm trying to train a stewardship character, I always just try to find someone with really high stewardship and then just choose them to train them. Yeah, this would be a fantastic change. In the character screen at the bottom where the family relations, etc. tabs are, when there are too many to be displayed, you click on the title children or sibling and it takes you to another screen dedicated to just what's inside that title. Yeah, I mean, I guess. It is annoying that you have to scroll sometimes. That is super annoying. Yeah, so I guess that's not a major change. So combat, this will be spicy. When you click on the military button on the top right, show the rally points on the map when zoomed out the same way the game... Yes. The same way the game shows holy sites. Yes, please. It is super annoying that to find rally points, you have to be on the almost maximum zoom to see them. It's super annoying. Raise or merge would be nice. Again, I'm not going to read this one. It is 100% true, though. Raise all merged into one location. Basically, how this system used to work before we had rally points would be great. Especially, I find with raiders, you can either raise local raiders, which is usually quite a lot if you do your capital, or you can raise all raiders. Now, the problem is, if you have 5 rally points, it splits them out between all the rally points. You got to merge them together, then send them off. There should be just a raise all merged in capital or something, and then it just does them all in one place. It is super annoying that it doesn't do that. I've found recently I just delete rally points and then raise them because it's easier sometimes. It would be nice if you can click on the war icon on the bottom right and find a button where you zoom your view to where the enemy's armies are. And maybe other buttons that do similar things. You can't see armies when you're zoomed out on the map. Yeah, that is true. I mean, it would be a nice change. I don't think it's crazy change, so desperately needed. But it is, you know, once you do get a large empire, it is annoying basically looking around to try find the enemy. But at the same, well, I guess if they're viewable on the map, why wouldn't you be able to do it this way? If they're not viewable on the map, obviously it'd be a hack, so don't. But yeah, this would be good. Again, it's not crazy, I don't think. Almost if you could have like a side ledger for the enemy. So you can click on your army on the ledger and it will zoom you to where your army is. If you had a similar thing that popped out when you were at war, and you could just click on viewable, so armies you can see, and it would take you to them directly. That would actually be a pretty good change. The battle notifications at the top should either collapse way faster, yes, or after 5 unopened ones, it just combines. I would agree with this, because sometimes if you're doing a lot of wars, doing a lot of fights, you can sometimes have like 8 or 9, like he says here, and you have to click them all off one by one. It would be good if they just combined into one, collapsed into one, and you can look at them. Because I sometimes do look at battles in the notifications, just because I want to see how well my knights have done, because they always just wreck everyone. So it is good to look at it that way. To be honest, it's quite good to look for like piety and prestige gains. But yeah, it is super annoying if you do a lot of fights in a short period of time. So that's all the battle, all the combat stuff. I agree with most of all of these. Prisoners, why is it the game pauses and pops up an event demanding my attention for trivial stuff? Will happily sit back and let me execute all prisoners and stress my ruler to an aneurysm with no warning. I've actually killed, if you watch my channel, I do narrative campaigns. We actually killed more than one ruler because they were generous. I think it's generous or forgiving. Yeah, forgiving. And we killed like 20 heathens, and it killed us because we just got maxed out stress, and it caused our death. So I agree with this, especially when you press it, it should give you another warning. I think it does say you will gain stress from this, but if you're just pressing a button, it doesn't say like, look, this will basically kill you. So yeah, I agree with this. It should warn you there. Add a mass action for, and then basically everything that you want. Demand conversion on release, yes. It's super annoying to have to do it one by one. Demand a weak hook on release. I guess why not? Like, why not? Denounce claims on release. Again, why not? Execute prisoners of that my religion considers hostile or evil. Again, this one's good. I think it could cause unintended problems if people don't understand the other ramifications of mass killing people. I mean, you're going to be doing it anyway, I guess, in most cases, especially the way most people play Crusader Kings. So I guess just why not have it? But it does affect other things. So it affects like their dynasty's opinion of you, which I guess most of the time you don't care about. But if you're expanding land, it is actually something to keep an eye on. If you're like in Iberia and you just murder, everyone basically, when you take over their lands, the people who live there are going to hate you. Like even more than they're going to hate you anyway, I suppose. But it is something else to keep in mind on. But again, it would be nice to have the option. Add a select all toggle to the top so I can filter children or people of faith or whatever. Yes, that would be good. I think in Crusader Kings 2 it did have that. maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. For some reason, I think in CK2 it did have something like that for the prisoner system where you could just filter out children and release them. Maybe not. It definitely is needed though. If you're going to let me accumulate 50 plus prisoners in a Crusade Massive War, do I really need the... Yes, this is again is super annoying. Most of these I am just going to be agreeing to, so as you can tell already, yeah, it is really annoying that when you release people, you get a notification every time where it pops up and says, "Thanks for letting me go. Thanks for letting me go. Thanks for letting me go." Like, cool. I didn't need 50 of those. Yeah, that is. I don't even know why you get it anyway. Like, you've forcefully pressed the button and done it, so why do you then need a notification to tell you that they've accepted it? They're always going to accept it. So, and if for whatever reason they wouldn't, which I don't even think they can, then give me a notification. So, yeah, it is crazy. Do you really need to have notifications for every single prisoner? Scroll all the way to the top of the screen after I click the button. Again, isn't that the same thing? Well, anyway, I agree. Whatever it is, stuff with like mass releasing and mass doing stuff is annoying. The amount of notifications you get, the full screen ones that pop up, especially if you play at higher speeds, it's super annoying because you have to click through each one and like why you're not even going to read it. Realm management. Let me filter the list of vassals in the realm. Vassal screen by religion, so I can demand conversion. Yes, just a quality of life. That would be so much better for trying to convert people. You're not going to go through the list and click them and things like that. You could just see them all at the top. Add mass actions, demand conversion for courtiers. Yes, again, just yes, please. Because a lot of the time you're just going through the whole list anyway, trying to convert everyone. Just let there be a button that you press. Then like try convert all vassals. Have it as an event, like whatever if you want to, but it is super annoying that you have to go into each one separately. In the realm domain tab, let me collapse the counties in a duchy by clicking on the duchy title, the words, not the coat of arms, for some reason. I guess it makes a difference. So I don't have to scroll past my realm, my main holdings every time to get to the stuff I want to give away. I mean, I guess. It doesn't annoy me, but I can see I probably could. It would be nice if I could choose to be notified when someone having council rights in their vassal contract when I acquire them as a vassal, instead of only finding out when I force themselves on the council a few months later. Do you know what? I never thought about that. That's probably happened in games, and I've just presumed I've given them a hook or something in the past. It is crazy, yeah, that it doesn't tell you that, because that's pretty important. And I would imagine as well, like religious exemptions, does the same thing happen then? Like if you vassalize somebody who was a vassal to somebody else, does it... I don't actually know this. In all the time I've played Crusader Kings 3, I don't actually know, so someone let me know in the comments down below. If you vassalize someone who was a vassal of somebody else, do you just inherit the vassal status they had? So if they had a special rule, do they keep it when they become your vassal? I'm guessing not, but Joe, I've never even thought about it till that. Instead of pausing and popping up events about random courtiers that no one cares about, having affairs at every stage, accusation, revelation, and child, why don't you just put all the stuff in the notification area at the bottom right? Yes. Yes, please. Yes, please. I do like the snark. I do like snark on Reddit, and there's quite a lot of snark in this post. Like, why do you put in the bottom right corner? Where you put important information? So yeah, there you go. I agree with that. I don't know why you get popped up about it. Pop up an event when a vassal forces himself to the council for 25 years. Kind of important to know. Don't you get told this? I thought you did get told this. I thought they came and they told you, didn't they? Isn't there an event? Well, not an event, but a notification that pops up and it says, I'm coming on your council because I used my weak hook to do so. I thought there was one for that. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm pretty sure there is. Unless I'm reading this wrong, that's not what it's talking about. But I'm pretty sure it does. You do get a pop-up saying, I'm coming onto your council because I have this weak hook and I'm going to use it to come onto the council. Like I said, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but I'm sure that is how it works anyway. I guess I must be, though, because the guy obviously plays it quite a lot. He'd know. Anyway, artifacts. This is going to be spicy as well. Allow us to scrap, sell, mass gift to trash, to randos trash tier artifacts that we don't care about. I mean, there's so much about artifacts. I think in the next kind of, not major update, in whatever the next proper patch is, I think there'll be a bunch of artifact improvements, and I think nearly everything on here will be done, because it is just super annoying how artifacts work compared to CK2. So yeah, we should be able to just gift them to whoever we want or just destroy them. Allow us to select multiple artifacts to be gifted at one time, yes, instead of doing them one by one. Allow us to tell our antiquarian to automatically repair artifacts, yes. Yes, please. This would be so good. Just look, even if you can't select specific ones, even if you just said, look, just automatically repair when it gets to 20% or something, and then I don't have to worry about it at all ever. Allow us to mass repair artifacts. If you're feeling extra nice, allow us to do it by tier. This would kind of match with the one above. If you could just say, look, everything blue and better, always repair, then like that'd be awesome. Because anything, if it's grey or white, whatever the bottom tier is, I don't care, to be honest, most of the time. And it is really annoying that the current situation box, you get warned about it. And I'm like, I don't care about this small toy. I want it to be gone. I don't want it in my inventory. Allow us to filter notifications about artifacts by tier, so that I'm not notified about low durability on artifacts that are not worth fixing. As I just said, that'd be awesome. If I can choose to be never bothered about trading instead of raiding again, or tell me to stop trying to seduce me for 20 years, then I just decide that I never want to. Do you know what? No, wait, for the trading instead of raiding, I think one of the options in there is to never ask you again, isn't it? I might be wrong on that. Again, there's going to be some things I might be wrong about here. But maybe you have to have a certain level of prowess or something. But I'm sure in the recent campaign we did as Heisteen, I'm sure one of the options is like raid and never ask me again or something. And you just don't get asked about in the future. Then I imagine... yeah, so I imagine that must be how that works, like already. I'm pretty sure it is. I think they're just saying here, though, they want to implement that in other areas, so who cares? Allow us to manage court artifacts without having to go into royal court. Less clicks are good. Less clicks are good, to be honest. I mean, I guess, but like that, like you need to place them. Although I suppose they're saying like manage them in general, which yeah, I guess you do have to go into the royal court. Yeah, because I think the interface, the inventory that you have on your character is just for things you can have yourself and not court artifacts. So yeah, I guess, yeah, I mean, I guess, well, why not, I suppose. Why do inventory artifacts have filters at the top list of type, but court artifacts don't? Yes, it is super annoying. There's a massive list. I think there's an add-on that changes it, so it does work this way. So if you don't play for achievements, there's definitely add-ons that fix most of these, I think. And then we're getting near the end, guys. Like I say, a bit of just a rambling Reddit review almost of this post. I just thought it was an interesting post. So if you've got 18 minutes in and you're still enjoying it, make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. One of the biggest annoyances of the game is that when I'm hovering over something with a pop-up context box, waiting for the timer to complete. I'm not going to read this. I know exactly what he's talking about, and it is super annoying. Basically saying like you can hover over it, the tooltip appears, and if you're trying to hover to like the next tooltip in the stacking tooltip, if you miss by like 1 pixel the jump across, it resets the whole stack. It is super annoying. So yeah, I agree with this. Maybe if you could hold shift or control or something and it just never collapses it, maybe that would work. But it is annoying. I usually find this when I'm doing like if I'm in the lifestyles and I'm looking at the capability, like seducer trait, if I'm holding that down and then if I'm trying to go into the tooltip that appears for that, there's usually like a really small gap between the icon for seducer or any of them and then the tooltip itself. And sometimes when you're moving over, if you don't move it quick enough, I guess it triggers in that small gap and just removes the tooltip. So yeah, I don't know why it works this way. It's crazy, but it is what it is. The current situation box could use some love. You can dismiss specific situations, but never situations of the same type. Why? There's a mod out there for I don't need to be reminded to declare war. Actually, a really good mod. I don't need to be reminded about half the stuff I'm looking at currently. I think this is kind of... do you know what? This is true. I wish you could just turn certain things off so you just never get told about it. Like he says, if you have 150,000 gold, why do I need to be told about I can gain these, sell these hooks for 15 gold? Or like, powerful vassals on the council, like, I don't need to be told that, really. I mean, it is useful sometimes, but you should be able to, like, turn it off. I think in CK2, didn't it have like a really good notifications UI that you could go into and basically alter everything to change where it appeared? I don't know why that's not in this game, to be honest. I imagine maybe because the UI is just so much better, they thought maybe they didn't need it, but for things like this, it's true. Like I don't need to be told some of the stuff that's in there all the time. If I'm a new player, for sure, but once you've played the game a lot, like, no. Adding to previous point, there are things I would like to be in the current situation box that never are, like Dynasty members that can be inducted into witchcraft. Yeah, do you know what? No, this is actually a good point. I care about this a lot more than trash artifacts. Again, a bit more snark in coming in. Yeah, again, it kind of goes into that last point. I wish there was things you could edit to go in and out of it. Like even, put things in there like, oh, your heir is a knight, and notify me if my heir is a knight, So I know to go in. To go back to one of the earlier points, I then know to go in and look and be like, no, get out of there. I don't want you to be that. And there's other things as well, that should be in there. Or if I want them to be in there, they should be in there. So just way better. Even if you want to put some of the other notifications from earlier into this, like why not? They then stack into the collapsible UI at that point. Sort factions against us by discontent strength, so we know which likely to revolt is always at the top. Yeah, I don't understand why it works this way. I don't understand why it doesn't work this way. It makes the most sense. I don't even know what the order is at the moment. I guess it's like time. Like the latest ones are always at the bottom. No, I don't even think that's true. I don't know what is the sorting at the moment. This would be way better because you're obviously always looking at like, oh, there's the one that's going to spawn soon. So, can I deal with it now? Nope. Okay, well, I'll get ready for war. But yeah, it is crazy. It doesn't work this way. And last but not least, and this is in bold and into all caps. So, guys, it's important because people only do that if they're, definitely have something useful to say. I have a religion that allows adultery for both men and women. I have polyamory as a religious tenet. I still get notifications about every random courtier that sleeps around. I get notified when someone gets mad about it. I get notified when I reveal it. I get notified when they squirt out a baby. That's one way to put it. The events even say, don't we have more pressing things to worry about? Or something like that. Why are you pausing the game every 30 seconds and telling me these events? It's so pointless. Again, this just goes to the early one. Can you edit this out? Or even if you pick those tenants, just give a pop-up saying, hey, this is no longer bad. Do you want us to tell you about it? No. Or yes, but in the notification thing to the right. I get it. It's super annoying. This is pretty niche, like, area where you do this, but probably not for most people who play on the subreddit, to be honest. But yeah, I do agree. I don't know why it's in all caps with bold, but, guys obviously passionate about it. Anyway, you could go on about... Anyway, it just says there, mods fix most of this, but it'd just be super cool. Maybe some people would play the game, longer to the end game, if there weren't some of these annoyances. And there we go. And obviously people have come back and said about stuff here, so worth a read. Talking about what their ideas and all that good stuff. Actually, to be honest, I give the subreddit some grief, but it's usually actually okay. If you can get past the memes, it's actually not usually that bad. But I just thought this post was really interesting. There's a lot of things here. Some of them I hadn't even thought about. There's some things that are so annoying. I think we've just like Stockholm syndromed ourselves into thinking it's fine. And then you read it in a post and you're like, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Why does it work this way? So anyway, that is the video for today. Like I say, no dev diaries till after Christmas at some point. So I just thought it'd be interesting for us to read through this, talk about it a little bit, have a discussion down below as we always do. So let me know what you think, the things here you agree with, you don't, any other ideas that you have for improvements in the future. If we get a lot of posts down below talking about it, I might even do a separate video about what you guys talk about and other improvements that we want to see in the future. So yeah, let me know what you think. Hit the like button if you somehow got 25 minutes into this and haven't already pressed it. And if you're new here, I play Crusader Kings, all other grand strategy and strategy games. I cover the dev diaries and all that good stuff. So hit subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, we're going to leave it there for today. I'll see you in the next one.